All right, there we go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to DuePoint. Good evening to everyone who's tuned in around the country on our live stream. Can you hear me? There we go. Got to make sure. Don't want to be muted out there. So my name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending about 45 minutes with you as we go through what our business is all about, and more importantly, the opportunity and the benefit to you as guests. And then after the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions, come discuss anything. We're free to chat about anything at your heart's content here at DuePoint. All right, so as you can see, we're a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. So Constantia's been around for a very long time. They are a registered insurance company in South Africa. We were founded in 1952, so for a very long time we've operated fairly successfully in the insurance space. We've only dealt with other FSPs traditionally, so you might not even know the brand or the name, but we're one of the few full-blown insurance companies in South Africa. We are listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital. The financial services provider license number that we have is that one over there. You can see it's an early number because we were one of the early insurance companies in South Africa. And we've got a host of other FSP or Financial Services Board licenses. So those are all on display outside above the foyer. You can find them on our website. You can go to the FSCA website. They'll show all their listed FSPs over there. So we've got a long and short-term insurance license and investment license, the FSP license. But it's important that as guests that you start to develop the credibility in our business, the belief in our business, a little bit of trust in the business, because if really what the presentation is about a proposal that you join us and collaborate with us, and trust is definitely a fundamental kind of pillar to any collaboration, and so do what you need to do. If you need to go Google us, but make sure that you aren't skeptical at least about the legitimacy of this business going forward. So that's a fairly important step. That's why we take credibility very seriously here at DuePoint. The senior staff at DuePoint are these people up on screen. The first three on the far left are registered chartered accountants. Mr. Benfield, he heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience and success in the financial space. He was the COO and founder of Prime Meridian Direct, which is about a 10, 11-year-old business. They're the fourth biggest short-term insurer in the country already. His father had a lot of success in the business, so perhaps they had a bit of a head start on everybody else. Dr. Brian Benfield started Clientele Life, which is one of the biggest long-term insurers in the country. He started the IFA. They've got businesses in Europe. They've helped assist start businesses in Australia. So massive financial pedigree in the Benfields. Tim and Stacey, they look after a lot of the auditing requirements, the accounting requirements, a lot of the regulatory requirements in our business. And then myself and Jane. Jane is very experienced in direct marketing or network marketing. She cut her teeth in that industry in the UK. She's actually from the UK. She's from York. And her experience is fundamental to our business because we're an insurance company. We're not a network marketing company. We're an insurance company. We've decided to start this division where we've adopted a network marketing channel here at DuePoint. And we are very reliant on that channel. It's a very important channel because that's where all our growth comes out of this business. And Jane's experience is obviously very important to us. And then myself, I've been working in advertising in the digital space, particular to design and branding for the last 25 years. I ran my own agency for about 15 years, fairly successfully. I always say fairly successfully because we never retrenched anyone, but I never got to buy a Ferrari. Not yet. Look, that business is still running, but I'm no longer involved in it. Nonetheless, I might touch on why that happened a little later in the presentation. But that's the staff here. We've got our client service staff. We've got admin staff. The mandate of the staff here is really to support everybody. So we've put systems in place that really take care of the operation side of our business automatically. We don't have to get too involved in that. What we get involved in on a day-to-day basis is the support of everybody that decides to come join us here at DuePoint because, like I said, we're very dependent on that collaboration for our growth here in South Africa. And so we put a lot of focus on it. So you're certainly not alone when you join this business. We want to see people that get involved at DuePoint being effective in helping us grow our business, more importantly, being profitable for yourself, your own interest, right? And ultimately just happy. because really our business goes beyond just creating additional income. It actually is almost a bastion of hope for a lot of people, because often a lot of people come running to us once they meet crisis. But I'm hoping a lot of people decide to consider our business way before any financial crisis meets them, right? Just to mitigate that risk. We're in the business of risk, so we understand that. And perhaps a lot of people that join our business start to appreciate the value in mitigating that risk early on instead of when it's too late. And on that note, we have a slide that kind of discusses the personal finance circumstance a lot of South Africans find themselves in. I don't labor too much on the slide because, you know, I can't tell you the pain you're feeling from a personal finance point of view, but from a macro point of view, I can see the state of the economy because of all the statistics that we have in the public domain, and South Africans generally are suffering. We look at the technical recession that we're in. We look at the last 7 years. Inflation has been, 4.5%. Salaries on average have only been growing by 3% annually for the last 7 years, year on year, right? That starts to take effect on people's lives, and they start to feel that squeeze every single month. And what this business is about is an opportunity to, again, mitigate that risk, to create financial opportunity, typically when you don't see any in the traditional workplace. And we highlight debt and how that creates additional crisis from a personal finance point of view, and really that comes to a head when you get to retirement, because not many South Africans can afford retirement. 50% of South Africans can't afford to die. That's a fairly dismal fact, right? And so the business was really born, or at least the division was really born out of the circumstance that South Africans find themselves in. And we decided to launch this business 2.5 years ago. So in February 2016, DuePoint was launched along with the DuePoint system, with a number of aspirations for people. So when we think about the vision of DuePoint, it really comes down to what we aspire for the people that join us in this business. And it is all centered around wealth creation. And we say wealth creation, it's not just a marketing term. We practically have consideration for what or how does wealth look like in terms of a person's personal finance. People will often think, oh, wealth is about just having more money. It isn't. It isn't. It's certainly not. It begins with a paradigm shift that is required for a lot of people, and I see it in myself, and that paradigm shift is, well, if I want to become wealthy, why do I still keep on taking on debt? Right? Why do I not aspire to getting rid of my debt as quickly as possible? Why don't I suffer a little more so that I can get rid of my debt? Because if you really want to get to the status of wealth, and that'll be defined differently for each of us, you can't get there if you owe all these institutions money and people money. And so we have this hope for people in our business that they will use DuePoint to leverage themselves in a position to get rid of their debt as quickly as possible. And then once that's done, you can now focus on wealth creation. And we create wealth through the ownership of assets. There's no other way. The ownership of assets, because those assets, right, and they come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, those assets can create annuity income for you. They can appreciate in value with time, and that is where wealth is created. We need to get rid of debt first, right? And ultimately, we think if we can achieve those two things with the people in this business, you just have to be happier. Because that's really why you're here. A lot of people come to this presentation, I would assume, to try and get rid of some pain. Finances causes a lot of pain. It might not lead to happiness, but if you can get rid of a lot of the cause of pain, right? They say money doesn't bring happiness, but it can certainly wash the tears away a little more easily. So that's typically what we're trying to do. We're trying to change people's circumstances so that they are happier at the end of the day. How does this business work? You have the opportunity as guests to join DuePoint. Once you join us, we refer to everybody in this business as wealth engineers, because that's really what we're doing here. As wealth engineers, you have a single task. So that single task is to build what we call a channel of distribution. That is the asset that we're building here at DuePoint. How do you build a channel of distribution? You basically introduce other people to DuePoint. And that's what we want you to go out and do, is just help us grow our business. Go and tell people about the opportunity. And if you are successful in that process, if you can introduce people to DuePoint, to this business, who ultimately become wealth engineers and product owners, that leads to a host of benefits that we're going to go through now. So primarily, an additional income stream. Not just any income. This is not once-off commission-based, sales-based, activity-based income, right? Because that doesn't lead to wealth. What we do is we create recurring income. So some people refer to that as passive income or annuity income. You're deriving income out of an asset that you're helping us build here at DuePoint, right? So what is the power of recurring income? You might have the question, it keeps going on about recurring income, annuity income, but what's the value of that? The value of that is that you free yourself of time constraint. If you think about any money that you've earned in your lifetime, it is always attached to hours, to minutes, to the activity that you've sold, right? But if you create an asset, and the asset is what you derive income from, well, now you've freed yourself of this time constraint. Right, and we'll go into the benefits a little more around that. We also leverage the power of duplication. So that's your ability, it's your opportunity to go out and build a team around you that can build this asset faster, more effectively. In other words, you get to leverage yourself. It's almost like duplicating yourself if you do this effectively. It's a benefit that you want to take the most advantage of in this business. And this is something that's particular to most network marketing businesses. And that's why most network marketing businesses from the outside can seem attractive, right? Because it seems to make easy work of building this income. Our business is FlexiTime. The technology that we've imposed here at DuePoint allows you to build this channel of distribution. It allows you to share the business opportunity very easily. Regardless of time of day, regardless of where you are, you can start building your channel in another town in South Africa without any expense to you, right? We've got all that technology in place. There's no startup capital, so this is a big one for people. Typically, people arriving at a presentation like this are like, right, what do they want out of me? What do they want out of me, right? What's the snag here in this business opportunity? We've actually designed the business to have very low risk. So we call it a low barrier to entry. Traditionally, for anyone to get involved in financial services, to benefit out of financial services in South Africa, with all the regulation around, that industry has an extremely high barrier to entry. Very high, probably one of the highest in the, if you compare industries in South Africa, primarily because it's so heavily regulated. The way we've designed this business allows anybody to get involved in this business. We don't have starter fees, we don't have registration kits that you have to buy. It's not product related, so there's no boxes of product that you have to invest in up front to get started in the business. We've designed it to be low risk so that you can consider this business without any pressure or fear of the risk involved, all right? And again, qualifications, experience, nothing's required there. It makes it accessible to everybody. You get to build an asset that you have ownership over. So your channel of distribution is actually, you have legal tender of your channel of distribution that you're building here at DuePoint. So know that when you spend time, sacrificing time, because that's really what the proposition is, I want your time so that you can help me build this business, know that you're building an asset for yourself at the same time. Right? It's legal tender. It means that you can sell your channel of distribution. It doesn't retire you, right? So back to our point about why recurring income is so important, because it's asset-based. When your activity ends, in other words, when you retire or get retrenched, your income ends, right? But if you have annuity-based or income that's based on an asset, that doesn't retire you, ever. Right? And so through your 60s and your 70s and your 80s, you will still derive income out of this asset that you built. And at the same time, when you die, the asset value doesn't disappear. You get to seed the value of this business onto your beneficiaries, whether it be your wife, your husband, your children, whatever you define in your will. Right? And there's absolutely no selling involved in our business. So if you were worried about the prospect of, oh, now I've got to go out and sell insurance products and investment products, no, not at all. We actually clearly define your mandate in our code of conduct, and it explicitly states that you may not sell, market, advise people on our products, right? So you don't get involved in our products in any way. That becomes my job, right? Your job is just to connect people to the business opportunity, right? And that's easy because there's so much necessity for that, especially in South Africa. People want it, and they need it. Once you introduce them to this business opportunity, I will then take people through the business opportunity and the products. And we'll go through the products quickly because they're straightforward, easy products. Pick a product and start building the business. And because they're financial in nature, we don't have stock and distribution issues. The products become easy, right? Everything's taken care of by IT systems in the cloud. We can sign up 1 million people tomorrow like that because our systems do that for us. But your success here at DuePoint is certainly dependent on your ability to build this thing called a channel of distribution. So it begins with you. You become a wealth engineer and a product owner here at DuePoint, and you are not tasked with building this channel of distribution. Like I said, go out and connect people to DuePoint, right? You will not be successful in connecting everyone that you speak to. So we play a numbers game here at DuePoint, like our insurance businesses. We know that when we advertise our other insurance products, we know so many people will phone the call center will convert a small percentage of that, and a smaller percentage will actually pay for their product at the end of the month. So we have these ratios that exist. The same ratios exist for you. You might speak to 10 people. Out the 10 people, 5 say no, 5 say yes. Right, now you've got 5 people that you've introduced to DuePoint that become wealth engineers and product owners. That is the beginning of your channel of distribution. And this is where the leverage takes place. This is where the power of duplication is. This is why network marketing can be such an attractive business model, because now you have people helping you build your business. Because the people that became wealth engineers are going to go out and connect other people, right? Like referral marketing. We don't get paid typically for referral marketing. You go to a nice restaurant, you refer a friend to the nice restaurant. Does the restaurant suddenly phone you up and give you a slice of the business? It doesn't happen, right? So referral marketing has been happening forever. Businesses have tried to monetize referral marketing. Network marketing has been around for a very long time, probably a century already. So it's nothing new, but it's certainly one of the benefits of the business that you want to take advantage of. So you have to be discerning in the way you build your channel of distribution. Picture yourself as the CEO. Picture the people that you introduce to the business as your board of directors. Make sure that you bring strong, resourceful people into the business. Strong and resourceful, right? You might not, it's a gray area, unfortunately. You've got to go, well, what's a strong and a resourceful person? You will each define how that is made up. But my hope is that wealth engineers will be able to get that right, so that that behavior filters into the rest of their channel. Because you want to build an asset that is sustainable, right? And a sustainable asset is one that you don't have to nurse and rebuild constantly. You want to be in the position where you've got this stable, sustainable asset that you don't have to nurse. In other words, you can take a 3-month holiday and DuePoint still pays you the same amount based off of that asset, because the asset doesn't collapse. If you bring weak people in, and we see this often, right? People get desperate, they bring anyone in, they make these ludicrous claims about what the business can achieve for them. People come in and leave immediately, and that channel collapses for those people every few months, right? Build it properly. So this is what a channel of distribution looks like, and you are earning off of every single product owner that you see up on the screen, right? So that's what we're going to be tasked with here at DuePoint. My warning to everybody is we are very realistic about the outlook of this business for people. Many people automatically assume that, network marketing, I'm going to become a millionaire quickly if I do it right, and business doesn't work like that. If you've tried to start your own business, if you've run your own business, you'll appreciate that it takes a hell of a lot of time and effort, focus to get it right, right? Anyone can start a business. Anyone can become a wealth engineer. But to be successful in this business, as in any business, it requires that, the blood, sweat, and the tears. So the necessity has to be worth it for you. It can't be, I'm going to do it as a hobby on the side, right? You have to want the business, because that's where the motivation is going to be derived from. That's my warning to people at this stage. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. There's no shortcut to the business. There's no shortcut to success. That's the warning. No one ever leaves at this slide, so that's good. All right, on to our financial products. So we've got 4 products here at DuePoint. You are free to consider any one of the products. This is a personal decision that you'll make in joining our business. They are straightforward products. They've been designed around wealth creation in mind. So we've got an investment product, right? They're obviously to boost your asset value. We've got insurance products to protect the value of your assets. And then we've got one final product that is designed to lower your cost of living every single month. So the first product is the investment product. It's called Access Wealth. It's going to cost you 324 Rand every month. And 100 Rand of that gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. So we take full advantage of the tax-free investment legislation that exists in South Africa. You can bump that 100 Rand contribution up to 2,500 Rand, because you get to contribute up to 33,000 Rand a year. But we start at 100 Rand. And on top of that, you get 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident death cover with this product. So there's a little bit of insurance attached to this investment product. If you're killed in any form of accident, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand. And you've got full access to the funds in the investment. There's no notice period that you have to give to draw out those funds. So this is Access Wealth, the investment. The second product is called Wealth Guard. This is strictly personal accident death cover, but for 249 Rand, you get R1 million worth of personal accident death cover, right? The beauty of personal accidental death cover is that we don't profile you from a health risk point of view. So we don't care about your age, as long as you're over the age of 18. We don't care about your age, we don't care about your health status. Anyone can take out this product. The premium remains the same, the amount of cover that you receive remains the same. So that's Wealth Guard. Then this is our funeral cover product. So it's Family Wealth. It covers you and your family. So for 299 Rand a month, you get 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. Covers up to 5 family members. You get 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection on top of that. So not only do we pay for the funeral expenses, but we'll also pay up to 10,000 Rand of liability that you might have with any institution, and then you can bump this up to 30,000 Rand cover and 10 family members. And again, there's no discrimination against any pre-existing conditions. So it doesn't matter what your health status is, your age, you can get in on this product too. So that is Family Wealth. And then finally, we've got Wealth Points. Wealth Points is actually not a financial product, but it's kind of like a lifestyle discounts product. It's 299 Rand a month, and what we've designed the product to do is lower your cost of living every single month. So if you think about all the money that you typically spend every single month regularly, we've tried to cover that spectrum of costs. So I know people spend money on data. I know you might be spending money on gym, restaurants, perhaps hotels, cars, and definitely groceries, right? So we've gone to a number of partners. We've partnered with these businesses, and we've negotiated discounts with these guys on behalf of our Wealth Points members. So always on Wi-Fi data, you get a gig for 36 Rand, right? So that's like 60% off their normal retail price. We've got ShopRite Checkers, 2.5% off your entire shopping at ShopRite Checkers every time they're entertainer. They've got access to restaurants, hotels, a whole bunch of live events and that type of thing at nearly half price. We've got a couple of car manufacturers, and we've got a host of other online retailers. So that's Wealth Points. If you need more information to make a decision, go onto our website. There's lots of information there. And if you want even more information, go to the YouTube channel. We've got an in-depth review on each video on the YouTube channel. But those are the products. Very quickly, how does our business model work? So what separates our business from other businesses? Well, it's the network marketing aspect. So one of the fundamental differences between us and a traditional insurance company is that traditional insurance companies spend a fortune on marketing and advertising. At DuePoint, we don't do any. That's why you probably heard of DuePoint for the first time tonight, right? Because there's no adverts out there. We don't spend a cent on marketing. But we still take that budget, and we assign the budget, instead of to advertising, we assign it to the wealth engineers in our business for the success that they have in helping us build those channels of distribution, right? So there are 2 ways to benefit as a wealth engineer financially in this business, and that is through our returns program and the rewards program. Those are the 2 ways. So the returns program is the most important. That's the recurring income that you'll derive out of your asset every single month. So we pay a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every product that you have in your channel, right? But that's dependent on where the product lies. So remember the first 5 people in the example you introduced to DuePoint, we call that your first point. Anyone that you introduce always lands up on your first point, right, as a rule of thumb. And on your first point, we actually pay you double the 27.50 Rand. So you're earning 55 Rand for every product every month on your first point. And when those people go out and introduce other people who become wealth engineers and product owners, that product lies on your second point. Again, you get paid 55 Rand. And then as your channel starts to grow and grow and grow, because it's almost out of your hands at this point, right, you'll see the multiplier starts to drop the further the product gets away from you. So you've seen we go up to 0.8 over here. You're earning 4% of the 27.50, but we don't limit you at 0.8. So we got wealth engineers. I think you guys built up to close to 0.30 in 2 years, right? So you can potentially earn all the way up to 0.30. We keep paying from 0.8 onwards 4%. There's no limitation on the size of your channel at DuePoint. We don't limit how much money you can be earning at DuePoint. It just comes down to time and numbers. And I'll go on and on and on until the cows come home. This business is time and numbers. People are so desperate to try and manipulate time. No one has gotten it right. So why worry about the time? Let time just run its course. You make sure you take care of the numbers. You keep introducing new people into the business, your channel will get there. Right? You have to have the patience. We're not talking about a lot of patience here. We're talking in 24 months, right? And you can make significant impact on the size of your channel. So this is the mechanics of the returns, but people, nonetheless, they want to know how quickly they're going to be rich in this business. Is this business worth their time? And so we built a projection over the next 5 years based on an assumption around activity, and that activity is, well, in your first month, bring 3 people. Just 3. 3 in 1 month. And then every consecutive month thereafter, because that 3 will get you qualified to earn, every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to bring 2 new people every single month, right? If you can follow that activity, you could be earning about 2,500 Rand after 6 months. And this is, again, a valuable lesson in terms of the power of paying your debt off a little bit faster. Because I suspect, we've got someone, the example we use is someone who has a bond, so someone trying to become a property owner, right? That's 20 years of trying to become a property owner, because typically people will take out a 20-year bond term at a given interest rate. In this example, we've got prime plus 2. You're going to be paying back about 11,500 Rand to the bank every single month for 20 years before you become a homeowner of a 1 million Rand property, right? Modest. But you join DuePoint, and 6 months later, you're earning 2,500 Rand. The temptation would be to spend the 2,500 Rand, right? Because if you had 2,500 Rand in your pocket, it would get spent. How many of us go, right, I'm going to save this money and I'm going to put it into my bond or into my car? No one does that, right? But if you do decide to do that, you can pay your 1 million Rand bond off in 11.5 years instead of 20 years. You've just saved yourself nearly 1 million Rand of interest that you would have paid to the bank over that period. 12 months, 6 months later, you've suddenly jumped up to nearly 9,000 Rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 Rand of an annuity income that you've just generated for yourself annually. 12 months away, 100,000 Rand. I would love a 100,000 Rand bonus every single year. Oh, definitely. 24 months away, you see the number shoot up to 27,000 Rand. So now you're close to 30,000 Rand in recurring income. I will remind you, this is 2 people a month that you have to introduce to DuePoint. It's not onerous, right? But people get impatient because we have a lot of fall off at month 1 and 2. I don't know why. But if you look at statistics of human beings in the workplace, what's the ratio? 80-20, 20% are doing all the work of the entire business, right? That's a given ratio. It's a principle in business. You can look it up. 36 months, you are now close to 50,000 Rand a month. After 48 months, you'll be earning about 70,000 Rand a month, and then after 5 years, so I said it was a 5-year projection, close to 85,000 Rand a month is about 1 million Rand in annual annuity income that you've generated off of this asset that you've built over time. Again, 2 people a month. But this is academic, so it's great to show you what's possible from a theoretical point of view, but more importantly, what we do is we actually bring wealth engineers up to give testimony often. Every single month we'll invite wealth engineers onto the stage, not the ones that have given up and left, the ones that have endured in the business through thick and thin, because you can speak to any wealth engineer. I'm going to tell you now that it's a linear curve to success. It is like this, right? Like any other business. But if you endure, you get to the next peak, right? Got to endure the troughs. But this is where you can be. And we bring up wealth engineers to tell their story so that I would assume people listening to this believe the testimony of, or the reviews, right? We're all firm believers in reviews. We believe the review more than we believe the marketing brochure. So there's value in the testimony. You can go look at all the testimonies on YouTube. We must have 100+ testimonies by now. So here's Sandra. Sandra joined us 2 years ago. So she's got a very interesting story. We don't only bring up the superstars. We bring people that have gone through trial and tribulation here at DuePoint. So Sandra joined and she had amazing success. Was very active in the business in the first few months, but then she disappeared. I don't know why she didn't cancel any of her products. She didn't cancel her products nonetheless. So we call her the prodigal daughter. You know the story of the prodigal son that left to go to the city of the big lights, and while she was away, we paid her some pocket money anyway, right? And that is the beauty, because she's built an asset. The income she was deriving is not based on her activity. She used her activity to build the channel, the asset is what pays out. So even though we didn't see her for a year, she still earned money. Right? And that's why we should be happy to spend time, sacrificing time to build this channel. So in the 2 years, she's earned 21,000 Rand in total returns. The size of a channel sitting at 8 points deep. Her channel size in terms of the amount of people in the business. She's got nearly 400 people in the business. And while she was completely inactive, she did absolutely nothing for a year. We still paid her 5,600 Rand. But I'm glad to say she's back with some life lessons. Right? So go look at her, go listen to her testimony. It's wonderful. And she said she went and tried other businesses. Brendan always say when we give training, he says, doesn't matter what business opportunity you choose one and focus on it. Right? If you choose DuePoint, focus on it. Make it a success. If you keep jumping from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity, you are starting at zero every single time. Look, if you weigh up the benefits, I'll tell you now, I think DuePoint is the best opportunity in the country. Right? But that's for you to decide. And Sandra decided, well, she saw what she thought the grass was green on the other side, and she decided, no, she's coming back to the business, right? So go watch her testimony. Then we brought Casper and Madeleine up. So actually, Casper was the only one up. He's been in the business for 2.5 years. He's ranked 5. That'll make more sense to you a bit later. His current channel value, so the income that he's generating now, is sitting at just over 7,000 Rand per month. We've paid him nearly 50,000 Rand. Channel size, just over 500. He's got 13 points in his business, so he's actually got a massive business. I mean, we've got a report called a point management report that we have in our systems that we print out. His is, I think, close to 100 pages of report. That's how many people he's got in his business, right? Also, interesting story. It's not this Walt Disney story, right? He joined the business. What he did get right was he brought 1 or 2 superstars into the business, like really good, resourceful, good networking type of people that came in and helped him build his business. But he didn't succeed so much at the beginning. So he failed to qualify a lot of his business. And he struggled a bit. He had this early success. He struggled. We didn't see him again for 6 months, 8 months. And then he had a little moment, I guess, had a conversation with himself in the mirror and decided to get stuck in again. And it was mostly around self-belief. He didn't believe he could build the business, right? And through a couple of lessons, he decided, well, he's going to try this thing, whether it kills him or not. And he got stuck back into the business, and he's had amazing success in the last 4 months. Last 4 or 5 months, he went from rank 2 to rank 5. So it took him, I mean, rank 2, you need 20 people in your business. He sat at rank 2 for I don't know how long, right? And then in the last 4 or 5 months, he shot from rank 2 to rank 5. And now he's about to go to rank 6. The value of his business, so we look at 7,000 Rand a month. You think, oh, well, geez, 7,000 Rand a month would be nice, right? But more importantly, you've got to understand the recurring income from an asset value point of view. Because when you get to retirement, you're going to look at your retirement and go, oh, look, I saved 4 million Rand. The 4 million Rand I can derive, I don't know, what, 20,000 Rand a month out of a 4 million Rand investment? For 7,000 Rand a month, you need 1.7 million Rand in a bank account, earning yourself 5% interest. That's the value of the channel that is built. Then we've got Lynette, also a wonderful story with Lynette. She joined us pretty much the day we launched this business. She's ranked 7 already, 2.5 years in the business. She's from Vanderbijl Park, pretty much in the middle of nowhere down there, near the Vaal River. Her channel is generating 16,000 Rand a month, nearly 4 million Rand in value. She's got 6 of her 19 points over. She's got 19 points in her business. She's got a massive business too. She's got nearly 2,000 people in her business. We've paid her already nearly 140,000 Rand. Let me tell you, Lynette sat at rank 3 for 2 years. So it took her 2 years to go from rank 1 to rank 3. Let me tell you, she was in our offices having meetings constantly. She tried everything. Everything. She was knocking her head against the wall. When we first met her, she said, you don't know me, but I'll tell you right now, I'm going to make this business successful. We hear that a lot, right? People come in and they tell us, oh, we're going to be superstars in the business. So we brushed it off a little bit. But let me tell you, the tenacity of this woman, and she gave such a heartfelt testimony last night. We actually had the testimonies last night, so go watch that. So for 2 years she spent in the business. I can't believe she didn't quit the business. I mean, surely from the outside, you look at that and you go, it's not working. It's you, or it's the business, or it's the system, but it's not working. Quit. She didn't. She refused to. And in the last year, she shot from rank 3 to rank 7. She's going to go rank 8 this month. Her income's going to go up. She's going to be in Mauritius with us by the end of the year, with 1,000 products in her business. Right? Massive value. And if old lady like this can do it. I'm sure she'll excuse me for calling her an old lady. But she is. She's a pensioner, right? There's hope for us. There's hope for us. I'm sure she'll excuse me. We're paying her lots of money every month. But she's only getting warmed up. I think she's only getting warmed up. So we have a lot to see from her. So those are a couple of the wealth engineers. Like I said, we've got close to 100 testimonies on YouTube by now, right? And some of those people have even left. There's some people in this slide. They're no longer here. We're probably still paying them a recurring income every single month, some of them, right? There is value in getting involved in a business that creates annuity income as opposed to doing a sales-based, commission-based type of income business. So what is the decision? The decision is not so much what you want, because that is a fleeting decision. That is the easiest decision anyone can make. What do I want? Oh, well, I want a Ferrari, I want a Porsche, I want to be rich, I want to be wealthy, I want. The practical consideration we have to make is, how do I do this business? How do I fit DuePoint into my life? Not like a hobby, not like a New Year's resolution. How do I practically fit this business into my life? Is it something I do every Wednesday night? Write your Wednesday nights off. That's the time that you spend building annuity income in your life. What does it look like, right? If you look at Lynette and her husband Fricky, they do the business almost full time. They have 100% prioritized DuePoint in their lives. You've got to decide how this business fits into your life. Getting started, very easy. You become a wealth engineer in 5 minutes. Do the online application. It's a very quick process. Read our code of conduct. That's fairly important. Go watch the training. There's so much training that we've developed on this business to help you be more effective in this business. You don't have to make the mistakes that newcomers make in the business, and don't make the mistake of thinking we're a business like another business you've done in the past. Appreciate what we've done here and go just delve a little bit into it. Set goals for yourself. Probably the most underestimated life principle. I was going to say business principle. It's a life principle, setting goals. People don't set goals. Maybe because you have to be courageous and vulnerable at the same time to set a goal. Right? You're saying, I bet I can do this in this time. And then when you fail at it, the emotion around that, right? You need to be able to handle that. But set goals, because the only way you can prepare a plan, and that's the only reason to set a goal, is that you get focused on what you need to do to achieve the goal, right? And this business is distilled down to a single metric, and that is, how many people do you need to speak to every single month to get so many to join so that you can reach your goal. So if you want to get to 10,000 Rand after 12 months, I know you need to be connecting successfully 2 or 3 people a month. That means you've got to speak to, and everyone's going to have a certain ratio. You might have to speak to 10 people to get 3 to join every month. But that ratio won't move too much, right, with time. So I only have to speak to 10. I don't have to worry about if they say yes. I don't have to worry about if they say no. I just speak to the 10, regardless of their response, because I know the 10 will always boil down to 3 people joining. 3 people joining every single month for 1 year will get me to close to 9,000-10,000 Rand a month. Simple. Simple to get started. Get the merchandise. This business, the success of you connecting people, is very much dependent on first impressions. Some people don't like that, right? But it is. Life is about first impressions. Unfortunately, if you are trying to connect successfully with somebody, you have to build up a picture of credibility. Because the moment you go up to somebody and say to them, I've got something for you, they go, you mean you want something from me, right? And so trust and credibility play a fundamental role in your ability to connect people. The merchandise is not a profit center for us. These are tools that help you build trust in the people that you're connecting with. Business cards. You put a business card down on the table, it says you have belief in the business that you're a proponent of, right? Please consider getting business cards. There's a host of other merchandise. We can send it anywhere in the country. The pricing's on the counter. Join our Facebook page. We're very active on Facebook, YouTube. All our production, all the videos we produce resides on YouTube. But more importantly, that camera gets turned on and we broadcast to the entire country 8 times a week, live. This is your opportunity to feel sorry for me, because I do exactly the same presentation 8 times a week for 2.5 years. They pay me for it, it's okay. But it is. But that's the opportunity, right? Because if that camera is broadcasting to the entire country 8 times a week, that's 8 opportunities a week for you to connect anyone that you know anywhere in the country overnight without any expense to you, so that you can start building your channel nationally. So all the people watching us live now, I want you to, in the chat, tell us how many guests you have. I'm always interested in that, right? Tell us how many guests you have with you right now, in the living room, in your bedroom, wherever you are. At McDonald's, some people live stream from McDonald's, free Wi-Fi, it's a wonderful thing. Right? Tell us how many guests you have. Download the mobile app. So the mobile app is your business in the palm of your hand. Right? We've got a mobile app that literally tells you every aspect of your business in real time of what's going on, how your annuity income is growing, who the people are on your first point, what they're doing, how active they are. Make sure you download the mobile app. So a couple of other things you do once you join, very straightforward, and that leads us to our rewards program. So the rewards program is the cherry on top here at DuePoint. You can see the things changed already. We've got palm trees and beaches. We wanted to put Pumi in a bikini over here on the beach, but we were told by the feminists we're not allowed to do that. So how does the rewards program work? The rewards program, we basically reward you for the success you have at building a channel of distribution. So along with that recurring income that you produce every month, there are a host of rewards waiting for you. How does it work? You start out as go from a guest to a wealth engineer this evening. You will start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer because you haven't done anything. But the moment you become active, we give you XP for any activity that you have. Activity is coming to intro presentations, watching it on the live stream, having guests with you, checking out your app every single day earns you XP. So you can get 1,000 XP very quickly, 2 minutes. You need 4 products in your qualified channel, and when you meet those 2 criteria, you become rank 1, and we give you a 55 Rand once-off reward at the end of the month on top of your return. Right? Modest beginnings. But more importantly and sincerely, what you've just proven to yourself is that you can get to any rank in our business. Because the people at rank 20, look at the bottom there, rank 20, you need 500 million XP. You need 25,000 products in your qualified channel. But you know the only thing that separates a rank 20 from a rank 1 is just time. Because the rank 20 is speaking to people every month, nothing more. And the rank 1s are speaking to people every month. It is just time that separates you. So when you get to rank 1, you take that 55 Rand and go celebrate, right? Go buy a muffin and a cappuccino, whatever it needs. And the rewards get bigger and better. So as you start to rank up, we get more serious about the rewards. We give tools to our wealth engineers to help them be more effective at connecting people, fancy little USB sticks with all our collateral on. We get you 12,500 Rand business cards at rank 7. Think about spending 12,500 Rand on one set of business cards for yourself. Why? Because first impressions make such a difference here at DuePoint. You want to put a 12,500 Rand business card on the table, right? Your credibility goes through the roof. At rank 9, we take you and your family to our international conference every single year for the rest of your life. So that's a family international conference. It's business class flights there and back, 7 days away, all expenses paid trip, 5-star luxury resort. Now, when you hear luxury resort, I need to just emphasize, go look at the resorts we've been to. So go look at the Western, Turtle Bay in Mauritius. Go look at the one we're going to this year, right? Heritage Resorts, Little Fair. They are 5-star on another level, right? So we've documented the last one at Turtle Bay. So take a look, and this is available for everybody.
Gone and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
So that was the Western Turtle Bay. Like I said, we've got a different resort, so you're free to go to our Facebook channel or go Google Heritage Resorts Little Fair. It is up to you how quickly you want to get to rank 9. If you follow that typical 3+2 kind of growth model, it'll take you about, 3 years, 4 years to get there. But we've had individuals, so Spamandla got there in 5 months. 1,000 products in 5 months. Records are made to be broken, right? You dictate how much time and focus you're going to put into this business. So it's completely up to you, and it's available for everybody. When I say it's available for everybody, I say everyone has the potential to get there. 2 ranks later, we spent R250,000 buying our wealth engineers a brand new car. So you get to choose which car you want. It is up to you. We will put the 250,000 Rand towards your Ferrari if you want. Completely up to you. We want you to be driving around in a car that has 0 debit order at the end of the month. Why? Because the language at DuePoint is about wealth creation, right? So how much closer are you to becoming completely debt-free by rank 11? We are just getting started, though, because the program goes up to, the rewards program goes up to rank 28. We're only at 11. So some wealth engineers got to rank 11 in less than 2 years. It is up to everybody. Right? You get to dictate what you want to be doing and focusing on in your day. So we've got a busy weekend planned. On Saturday here at head office, we're going to be doing an old dev seminar with a bit of a fresh spin on it. So fundamentals of channel building is going to be the topic of our training on Saturday, but this is the gold edition. So a lot of the wealth engineers will know I come from a mining town. My father is still heavily involved in gold mining, and so I will be showing the parallels of channel building to gold mining. There are a lot of parallels, surprisingly. So that might put a bit of a fresh spin on an old and very valuable dev seminar that we'll be doing at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. So come to head office, otherwise tune in on the live stream. And then Brendan is going to be going down to Durban. It is the first destination in our National Encounters Roadshow that we've got planned nationally for the rest of the year. And he's going to be doing a fairly thorough workshop business seminar on our business. So I think the aim of our encounters is to build belief in the business. Remember, that's the biggest obstacle always. When you have people coming to look at the business, the biggest thing they have to overcome is belief, trust, credibility in this business. Can I trust this business to sacrifice time in doing this? And so we're going to be doing a very good belief building seminar down in Durban. It is your opportunity, if you know anyone in Durban, to get them there. Right, so we've got a lot of wealth engineers all traveling to Durban to make sure that they're with guests, but you can send the guests there. They don't have to be have their hands held, but it's opportunity to start building a channel in Durban, and then one in Port Elizabeth, and then one in Durban. Right, it is opportunity. These national encounters is opportunity to build a national asset here at DuePoint. So take note of the dates. If you want to get stuck in, take note of the dates and start building a list of names for each of the dates and get people there. So that is it. My invitation to you is come join us at DuePoint. Simple invitation. We've designed it to be low risk, right? So that you can at least try the business. Try it. I'm in my 40s. I wish I got involved in a business like this when I was in my 20s. I wish, sincerely. In those days, we had things like investment clubs. A bunch of mates at university put together an investment club, and we'd meet every month or so and discuss investment ideas. But you need money for that. And how much money do you have in university? Bugger all, right? So we just spoke about a lot of good ideas, but no investment happened. So this is an investment. This is a business opportunity that doesn't require that amount of risk. There's no boxes of product. There's no registration fees. It's a very low risk that you have to put up with. What we want really is time. Right? And we can all afford a little bit of time, especially if it has the impact that we kind of saw that the business can have for you, especially with time. If you can put a little bit of time into a business like this for 10 years, I think it'll definitely be worth it. So there's my invitation to you. If you have any questions, come speak to me. Otherwise, I wish for everyone a prosperous end of the year. I hope no one's written the year off yet. 2018, you haven't written the year off? Lots of opportunity still in 2018. So good luck. Thank you.